I know that when you start realizing that you're making more mistakes and you're thinking slower and all, it's not a good feeling. And I considered it well worth the money. It's like, why wouldn't you want to feel smarter and younger and understanding more things and challenge yourself? And that's what this did. Well, frankly, I was worried I was having dementia, and my wife was more worried that I was having that. What I was doing was very forgetful and starting to misplace stuff more. And so we went to my personal doctor and we told him about it. And he kind of blew it off. He just considered it normal. And it just didn't seem like that to me. And so he suggested and arranged for me to go to a neuropsychologist for testing. And so I took a standardized, I guess, intelligence test. And wow, I blew it away. It was a good high score. So I thought, oh, that's good. And then I still felt the same way. And after 18 months, I went and did the testing again, and it still looked good. It slipped some. I tried a few other things like computer games. That's supposed to help. Well, Free Cell and Mahjong and others. Sudoku, I think, helped some, but it burned a lot of time for no noticeable improvement. And so I started doing something I'd done before, memorizing names at church. I determined I'm going to learn as many names as possible. And that helped. I got back to when I was doing it before. I got back to, I probably remember more names now because the church is bigger. The memorization of names there is improving since my LearningRx training. The LearningRx assessment and consultation process, what I was impressed with was it was shorter, it was less expensive than the two neuropsychologists I'd taken standardized tests with it. And it was a little bit fun, and at times it was harder in sections than I expected. In the discussions originally before the testing, I received descriptions of the 8 different types of brain function that LearningRx focuses on. What the scoring taught me was that your brain doesn't stop learning things and that you're still growing new neural pathways. Now, I'm learning all the medications on the internet aren't accomplishing anything in that area. I could see myself getting better every activity, and there were loads of them. Every activity would start at one level, but then it would get harder, and it'd get harder intentionally. And the harder it might be the fact that you were doing something to a certain beat and the beat is sped up. So now you're doing the same activity faster. Or it could be that it surprised me when this first happened. You could be doing an exercise and doing fine, and all of a sudden your trainer is distracting you. She had me try to remember something up front, and she'd start into the exercise with me, and then she'd say like purple, yellow, blue, and after I had completed whatever exercise I was doing with working with numbers or words or whatever, then she'd say, do you remember the 3 colors? And I said, magenta and chartreuse. I didn't know at that point, but I could see why they consider themselves like personal coaches, only, instead of making you have bigger muscles by pushing you to keep doing more, they're doing the same thing to the brain. Let me push you, improve it. I want you to lift more weight next week. And so there was a constant feedback of good news on how I was doing, and I could see the things going faster and going better. Well, what I've seen is a little bit of increased confidence in my problem solving. She also taught me to slow down and don't be too impulsive in this, and work at learning tricks, different ways to put puzzle pieces together or something like that. And so I also found a better mood in general. And I think there's some depression that comes in as you start to phase, and it's very encouraging to think, well, I'm not slipping quite as fast now. And so I've got the better mood, and I still have my procrastinations, but I have some good work bursts too. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I am completely unproductive. Other people, my wife especially, does notice things. I think people have noticed my mood, better mental awareness, and my task of remembering names is improving. And I'm still sticking with Sudoku now and then too. I think it met its goal of helping me learn about learning so that I can make improvements myself. So go for it.